Hi, and welcome to Teaching with BigBlueButton. This class is on how to use BigBlueButton from A to Z, on how to set it up, use it, teach with it, all the different parts of BigBlueButton. The schedule that you see over here is the times on this video, so that if you already knew how to do something, you've accomplished something previously, you can just skip right to that spot on the session. So we're going to go over how to set up your classroom. That's physically where to place your camera and set your camera, how to create a BigBlueButton activity in Moodle, how to start a BigBlueButton session both as you and as a student, and then how to teach and record with BigBlueButton. And then finally, when you're done, how to use BigBlueButton recording in your Moodle, how you can link to it, and the different ways that you can use that and access that later in Moodle. So let's get started with using BigBlueButton. So first of all, although this video is showing a specific camera, it doesn't matter what camera that you're using. Open up the software that's on your desktop called Visualizer. Now, Visualizer is that little green icon, and what I do is turn on my projector and I make it full screen, and then I look at that while I manipulate my camera to figure out exactly where I want it to point, because I'm trying to get it so it gets me and my screen and what I'm doing, but it doesn't get any students at all in my classroom. So you could set it up head on, you could set it up at an angle for the right or the left. I put it, as I'm looking at the classroom, on the right side, so that while I'm writing, I'm looking basically at the camera, so that any student that's that is online, part of the time I'm kind of addressing them as I'm speaking. And as I'm talking, I'm kind of talking at that camera mic, which is off on that side of the room. So I'm going to go ahead and turn editing on in the Moodle class, and I'm going to create an activity called BigBlueButton. So I just go to add an activity, and you'll see BigBlueButton as one of the activity choices. I just go and click that and say add. Instance types, room activity with recordings. Yes, that's what we want. We want to be able to get to them and see the recording. Virtual class name, that's the name of this class. So I'm going to say American if I can spell, History Online. And then let's see, activity room settings, nothing we need to set there. Yeah, that's all set up fine. Participants, anybody else is enrolled as a viewer. Sessions, we're not going to schedule it, although you could, but there's no reason to do that. And then common module settings, on here I'm going to put no groups. And I'm doing that because I'm doing it so that I can record it once for my class and all my classes can see it. If I wanted to do it per group, then only that group would be able to see the session. I think it's easier to set up this way. I am going to hit restrict access. Okay, so I'm going to add a restriction, and I'm going to say group must be the follower of any group. And I'm going to poke it in the eye. What's that mean? It means that by setting it up and saying you have to be a member of any group, that means you have to be enrolled in the classroom, because every student's a member of some group in your classroom. And it keeps the guests from coming in and seeing your recordings if your class is open for guests like parents to see what's going on in the classroom. I know we don't want anyone outside of our classes to be able to access our classroom recordings. So that's it for setting up the activity of a BigBlueButton. Okay, so we've got our activity already made called American History Online, that we see that big blue button, and it is grayed out. It says not available unless you belong to any group, hidden otherwise. That means nobody will even see it unless they're a member of our class. So how do we get started, and how do students get started with using BigBlueButton? You just click on it, and then right there, right now we haven't used it before, it says there's no recordings to show. As a teacher now, all I hit is join session, and as a student, all I hit is join session, and it starts up. Hi, I wanted to point out how I'm going to start my sessions on BigBlueButton. So I'm going to hit join session. I'm going to say yes to the audio test. I should hear a little echo of myself. Say yes. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that chat, and I'm immediately, even before I have any users, going to go to this manage users and go to lock views. I'm going to lock down my users, and then I'm going to say, look, they can share their own webcam and they can share their microphone, but they can't see any other else's webcams. They can't see the public chats, private chats, shared notes, other viewers. That's going to be my default setting. I may open some of those up, but on all cases, I'm going to keep other viewers' webcams off so they cannot record each other if they're online while we're doing classes. I also don't really see other viewers in the user list. They don't even need to know who's online because they won't be, and I'm thinking particularly in middle school cases, goofy online for their peers if they don't even know their peers are there. So I'm going to hit apply. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit share webcam to open up my webcam. And I'm going to hit share screen to open up my screen. And now I'm immediately ready to start teaching.
Welcome. In this video, we're going to show you how to use BigBlueButton as a moderator and presenter capabilities. First thing is you'll see you'll be invited to join the audio, just as the viewers. I can join listen only, but I'm going to join with the microphone. When I do, BigBlueButton puts me into an echo test. Just lets me check my audio. Test, test. Sounds good. Now I join. When I join, I see the presentation area here. Again, the public chat is visible by default, and the users list. When you join as a moderator, you have a square icon which says this is all the moderators. The students, the viewers, join with circles. When I'm talking, you can see that I'm highlighting. I can mute myself here by just pressing the mute button. When a student unmutes themselves, you'll hear them, but you can also click and you can mute them as well. You may also see students join listen only. When the students join listen only, they can't talk, but they can hear you as well. Students can also set their status, which means their initials will be replaced by an icon. Here, you can see happy face, and I'm going to clear all the icons as well. As the instructor, you can start and stop the recording anytime. So here I'm going to do start recording, and a message appears. And I can also click it again to pause the recording. And I can start and pause the recording as many times as I want during the session. Other moderator capabilities, I can mute all the users. I can mute everyone except myself. And I can also lock the viewers down as well. So this means I can prevent them from sharing webcams, sharing microphone, public chat, private chat, as much as you want. This one here is if you want to prevent them from seeing everyone else's webcams, it means that they will only see your webcam, but you'll see all the students' webcams. To apply it, just close, and then you'll see an icon here next to their name that says they're locked. If you want to unlock the capabilities, go back to lock viewers. I can just turn off the locks, and then they'll be able to do everything again. You also have the ability to put students into breakout rooms. To do this, you choose Create Breakout Rooms. It shows you the list of students. I can drag and drop a student between each room. I can choose the number of breakout rooms, the duration, and I can also allow students to choose which breakout room they want to join. Let's set it to 5 minutes, and I click Create. You'll see the Breakout Rooms tab appear to the left, and now you can see students, the count of students as they go into breakout rooms. You have the ability to join the audio in a breakout room, and you can also fully join the breakout room. If you do that, it'll just give you the invitation to join, and it'll bring you into the breakout room just like the students. You can join the audio, you can see the students in the room, and when you're done, we just close and you're back to the main room. At some point, you may wish to end the breakout rooms before the end time. You just click End. I'll rejoin the audio. And we're back in the main room. Students are all back, ready to pick up where you left off. Let's turn to the presentation area. Here, by default, the whiteboard tools are selected, so I can use the pen tool to draw. I have a series of tools here as well, which I can use. So let me go to a blank slide. If I want to draw, I can do a little bit of drawing. And as the instructor, I can also give the students the ability to draw as well by turning on multi-user whiteboard. When I do that, you can see their icons move and they can draw on their own layer. They can't overwrite anything, and you as a presenter have the ability to turn on and off multi-user whiteboard anytime you want. If I turn it off, all the ability to draw will be frozen. If I turn it off, students can no longer draw. And if I clear, it clears all the whiteboard marks. As a presenter, you have some controls here on the left-hand side. I can start a poll, upload a presentation, or share a YouTube video. Let's start with upload a presentation. I can bring this up, I can browse my files, and here I've got something ready to go. This slide has a question on it. It could be a slide deck of 20, 40, 100 slides. Very efficient to share a presentation because it only downloads once to the user's computer, unlike trying to share your desktop, which we'll show in a moment. Here the slides have A, B, C, and D. Let's say I want to do a poll and want to ask the students, what is the result? Because it's actually formatted just fairly simply, BigBlueButton actually realizes that you have a poll for A, B, C, D. You also have the polling option here, and I can choose A, B, C, D. So if I do it, the students are all presented with a poll. I can see there's one response, and I can publish the results. When I'm done polling, I just close the poll. And then I can clear the polling marks as well, because they're just whiteboard. If I want to share a YouTube video, I click here, choose Share YouTube Video. I have a URL ready to go. Just click it. I do Share Video. The presentation area will become the video, and it will start playing, and all the students will see the same video. You as the instructor can scrub ahead to the video. They'll all scrub ahead to the same point, start playing. And if you pause, they pause as well. It's a really easy way to share a video with your students. If I want to stop sharing the video, choose Stop Sharing, and I choose Stop Sharing the video. It goes back to the presentation area. You also have the ability to share the screen. So I'm using Chrome, which makes it really easy. I click once to share the screen. It gives me some options here, and I can choose an application window, Chrome tab, or I can just go back, leave it at default, and choose here my entire screen. And then I click Share. In a moment, the screen sharing will start up, and you'll see this kind of screen-on-screen effect just because I'm sharing my screen while I'm viewing it. Most of the times, you'll just go to an application, and you can start showing how the application works, and this is what users will see. When you go back, you can just stop the screen sharing anytime you want. And this becomes part of the recording as well. Finally, as moderator, you actually have the ability to make someone presenter, so you can make someone else presenter. And if I do that, Tara can move the mouse around and I can see the mouse moving. You have the ability to remove any user, and you can also promote them to moderator as well. Finally, when you're done, you have the ability to choose log out, or if you want, you can end the meeting, which would kick everybody out and start the recording. And that's it. That's an overview of how to use BigBlueButton as a moderator with the capabilities of presenter.
Okay, it takes a little while, but eventually the videos just show up on your class, and you can see it right here in the same American history activity. I can go and change the name of this and say it was Chapter 1 Intro if I want to on there. I can also add a description if I want to. Obviously, the date and time is already on the other side, so I don't know how much of a description other than renaming it. Whatever. You can put any kind of a description that you want in there. Now, the duration is not right. You can see it says duration 0, and if you watch the previous part, you know it was longer than that. But how do we get to it, and how do we use the video? So if a student comes in here, they hit presentation, it just opens up in a new page, and we've got the whatever I recorded. Actually, it was pretty short, wasn't it? What I recorded in there, I'm using 2 mics at one time, so it kind of messed up the sound. It normally sounds fine. And I don't think it's finished resolving everything yet as well. Because it's just kind of weird because I'm recording while I'm recording. But you see what it looks like. You're about a third of the screen. The screen capture is the other part of the screen that's on there. You do not have, and this is the downside of BigBlueButton, it's a great online tool, but you don't have any ability to download or edit the video. All you can do is post the video with BigBlueButton for your students to be able to access and use later. If you're not going to use your video for activities, If you're not going to try to break it up and do into little sections, BigBlueButton is great. It's also great for I'm just teaching online and all my kids are going to be on there with me. But the fact that we can't download the video and edit it makes it not as good in my mind, even though I spent days setting up the server at Trail. It doesn't make it as good as Zoom does because I don't have that end product that I can use. I can embed this video in or link it in my calendar, so I can take that address up top and say Control C, and then go to the class and go to the class calendar, add an event, and go down here and paste the address in there and say Chapter 1, Class 1, and then just hit Save. And now it is posted in the calendar, so the students would see that, and if they click on it, it shows the link right to the playback, and if they click on it, they go right to that class recording. So it does allow you to post them in your calendar and use the entire recording somewhere else. But if you're doing a 40-minute long recording and you only want a couple 15-minute sections or maybe a 5-minute section of it, then BigBlueButton really isn't the tool for you.